I'm seeing a troubling pattern from Ron DeSantis to share this with everyone. And I always leave room to be wrong to see if, and there's people, a lot of friends of the show who are actually in Florida who would know better than me. But I'm seeing a very troubling sign to me from DeSantis. And what am I referring to? I'm gonna first say, I don't know if is he playing games? Is he backpedaling? Here's 3 issues with DeSantis that might show a concerning pattern of potential him doing PR stunts. The first one I'm going to cover, I have a link here. If you go to middlemaga.com, you'll find a link to this article. This is the main one. This $3.5 million fine against Leon County for firing county employees has been withdrawn. But then I did a couple more just to show this is why I see a pattern. $200 million from schools that defied him on the muzzle mandates. He overruled that, backing down from the Disney stuff too, it looks like. So let's start here. What am I seeing here that's causing concern for me? We're looking at this. Florida pulls this fine that Ron DeSantis levied on Leon County in Florida. I'm like, okay, why did you pull that? Did they agree to something? Like, why would you pull it when you said you were going to do it? Leon County, going back to 2021 to tell you what happened, why they got fined, they had a state fine for a V requirement. So the county here made the V a requirement of employment. All 714 employees had to get the V or fall under a select few exemptions. I don't know if they're religious or whatever else. But at the end, 14 employees were fired because they declined to get the V. Just horrific stuff. I mean, just some of the worst stuff we've ever seen from our federal government, period. Meaning you have to take this is at the state level, but the federal government led this whole thing. They all rallied back to the C, even though they didn't have to listen to the C. Could you imagine just some random person on the street telling you, you have to take this medical drug or else this happens? That's literally what our government did. So they said, through the office of Ron DeSantis, governor said, the county is assessed a total fine of this $3.57 million. And this was kind of shady, not shade, they were levying shade. They said payment must be made within 30 days of the final order in this manner. Check or money order is acceptable. I think that was kind of a funny quote. DeSantis said he would not let Floridians be fired because of a V mandate and announced he would begin levying $5,000 fines per employee. And everyone, including myself, clapped and said, he's rallying for the people. But now we're seeing that they're pulling back the fine. So I'm like, okay, well, it's kind of after the fact. Do you really need to fine them? What did they do? Did you get a concession that they would at least offer the jobs back to everyone they fired? Or what's the concession that you made? You can't just pull back the money. As a part of the agreement, Long, who is the commissioner of this county, agreed to consider, this is the key word, to consider rehiring the 14 employees who were terminated for refusing to comply. For those who are, maybe if you're on the lockdown left and you happen to find this channel accidentally, I think most people who are just on the channel on purpose don't need this. But if you're in that wackadoo left, the NPC left, the lockdown left, the climate left, the zombie left, when somebody says consider, that means they don't have, that's just a fancy way of saying I'll do it if I want to do it. So that's not a concession. The county strongly contends that the V requirement was not only completely legally justifiable at that time, but also necessary. So they didn't even make concessions on that. This is the same county that recently reinstated, I'm talking about recently as in 2022, December, reinstated a muzzle requirement. I think it's just for their employees. So do you see where my concern is with DeSantis? Through the Florida Department of Health, we took back the fine, and this county is saying, poking their chest out like, yeah, we did the right thing, and we might consider rehiring the 14 we fired. What does that mean? That means they are not going to, probably, or they don't have to as a part of this. That doesn't look good for DeSantis, does it? And then I'll just quickly cover the other stuff. We were chatting about this on Twitter. Florida governor's school districts that defied no muzzle mandate to lose $200 million. No, DeSantis overrules lawmakers quietly, rejects penalties for the school. So he came out big, ooh, we're going to do the 200 mil. You can't put muzzles on. Remember? He did the whole presser, everything. And then now quietly, nah, we don't need to do that. What about Disney? I did the whole live about F around. This was before the F around and find out video that went viral from that one dude on the chalkboard had came back, or the dry erase board. I was like, you effed around with Desantis and you found out. And look at this. DeSantis camp softens tone toward Disney with Bob Iger back as CEO. He's as woke as anybody and looking into quiet things down in Florida. So you did all that boisterous stuff. My nickel, I'm going to need you, and I'm talking about you, DeSantis, I'm going to need you to be as boisterous with your backpedaling, your moonwalking like Michael Jackson. I need your chest poked out for that as well. Anthony Sabatini reported in December, Florida is working behind the scenes to give Disney its special tax-free and self-governing district back. The pretext for this capitulation was that Bob Iger, the new returning CEO, was non-woke. What? He's as woke as anybody. Meanwhile, here's what Bob Iger is pushing. Anti-2A. Disney's tax break left untouched in DeSantis feud. What's happening here? DeSantis is reneging. Do I need to call him reneging Ron? Do I need to call him that nigga reneging Ron? What other nicknames need to come out? The moonwalking like Michael Jackson, Ron DeSantis? And I'll end with this. Is this another Trump was right moment yet again? Trump called him Ron DeSanctimonious. And no one really took that. Even the people who were backing Trump that I really felt like took the name like DeSanctimonious. Like if you looked up sanctimonious in the dictionary, the definition is making a show of being morally superior to other people. It might be one of Trump's best nicknames based on what I'm seeing. It's the perfect nickname. He comes out like the Superman, the S on his chest to save the day. And then all of a sudden, when you pull back everything, he's softer than Clark Kent. Trump called him Ron DeSanctimonious, and no one really took that nickname seriously. It could turn out to be another Trump was right moment. That's the perfect nickname for what we're seeing from this bro. Let me know what you think.